So, the problem of U margin. First of all, how it happens that it become to be a problem. Actually, how do you do U margin, let's say, like that? How do you do U margin? So when you prep single tooth and you are not going to prep adjacent and you use thick bore, for example, you decide to do your margin with a thick bore, so there is a high risk that you will start touching the adjacent tooth, and you start in that case to move this bore more to the tooth that you prep. So literally you start to work with a full tip of the bore in the tooth that you prep, like that. And you do not take this into consideration, because again, you're afraid to touch adjacent tooth. You can try to use a metal strip to protect adjacent tooth, but at the end of the day you may have the same problem because of the size of the bore. And look what happens. You make a groove, okay? From the mirror perspective, it looks like that. You see? The very end of the enamel is unsupported, and this is what we call U margin. You see that, right? So now, how to fix it if it happens? Okay? So if it happens, there are many ways to fix it. One of the easiest and fastest, I think, is to modify type 1 preparation into type 2 or type 3, so to open the contact. Another way is just to be more conservative. You take thin bore, really, really thin. For example, bore number 12. Okay, the 12, the tip of the 12 is 0.3 millimeters. But the thing is that we're not going to use the half of the tip. We're going to use this bore in a very specific way. I have to get rid of the U margin. Actually, I have to remove this peripheral aspect of this margin. So we do this way. We turn ahead of our patient to get better view, and then I take the thin bore, and I'm not going to use half of the bore like that. I will use plane of the bore. So I will work with plane of the bore like that, with a high magnification. Adjacent tooth has to be covered with a metal strip. This is actually important to get it more controlled. But then you just take this down. See? So with the very thin tip of the bore, we can just get this U margin down. Let me check it with a mirror, and we will see how it looks like after that correction. It's like that. Okay, but better is not to make this U margin happen. And how not to make it, we will do it now when we are going to prep lateral incisor. So you will see what kind of instruments we use to avoid making U margin, okay?